I say 1. I say 2. I say 3. You actually only need 1. Did you go apple picking yet? Well, around here we don't have an apple picking trees, but we do have a grocery store, and today we are getting ready to paint with apples. So if you're ready, all you need is half an apple. You don't need the whole box, Mama. You can actually eat that. So we're gonna start setting that up, and you're going to come along and see how I set it up so that you can have ideas how you can set it up at home. Yes, my house is a mess. Yes, I'm in the middle of the kitchen. Yes, that is life. It doesn't mean the kids cannot have fun in the meantime. So I'm going to set up the activity here while I can get ready to clean the kitchen. Get this baby out of the way. I'm going to set it up in the counter because I have stuff to do in the kitchen, but you can do this outside, on the outdoors. I just have stuff to do in the kitchen and I need him to be busy. So I'm just going to set it up on my counter, which I know he usually doesn't move from his little stair, and he's pretty good at staying around me while we do activities. So I'm just going to cover my countertop with a very big piece of paper so that there's no way he's gonna paint my countertop. What do you want to do?
I want to cut this apple so I could eat it.
You're gonna eat it first before we paint?
Yes.
All right. So we have this handle, which obviously I didn't record. So let's do it again. I'm gonna cut the apple in half. Doesn't matter, go sideways or if you do it, if you go sideways, you're gonna get this star in the middle. Slice it like this. If you cut it halfway, like we did with this one, you're gonna get the seeds. But there's gonna be so much paint, you're not gonna see it. You can grab it like this, but it's gonna be very slippery. And this doesn't have a long stem, so it's gonna be hard to grab. So that's why we're going to create a handle. So we're gonna cut, bájate de ahí, pies en las, and then we're gonna cut a little slit. Yes, so we did a cut this way, and now we're gonna cut it sideways. And you can do that. We have snack time and activity, 2 in 1. So now we got our handle. I'm going to cut a little triangle on this side. If you leave a little triangle on the side, you're gonna leave some air to go into when the paint goes. Otherwise, the paint tends to stick to the paper. So that's why I'm cutting a little triangle. So once we finish with our snack, the table is covered in paper. I'm going to bring a little bit of red paint that we're going to put on a little tray that he can use to stamp. This is called process art. Nothing like this is going to be hung on the wall unless we want to. The idea is we just want them to have fun, stamp, work on those fine motor skills, those grasping skills, and basically just explore paint, because at this age, that's really what we want. We want them to explore paint, we want them to have fun, we want them to understand what happens if you put too much paint, too little paint, and all of that good stuff. Got a paper plate, and this is where I'm going to put the paint. And I got my shoebox container, which is where I keep my paints away. And I found red. We have red apples, so we're gonna stamp with red. And I could also look for green, and I could look for yellow, because apples come in all different colors. So it is a great activity to practice colors as well.
This is the bowl.
A little bit paint because we want to recreate this like a stamp. So just a little bit, very thin layer to paint. And now they can dip it. See? What shape is that? This one has a handle and this one doesn't, so you have to be careful with that. Making splashes, I see that.
It's because
You
I
see
wanna-
that?
Yeah. Splashes are fun.
A ver, let me see a splash. Wow. Did you make any lines? Or only circles?
Lines.
Alright.
Can I try this one? I
Alright,
can't take it out because this one's slippery.
I'm gonna be around here cleaning the kitchen, okay? You play. Look at this. You want this to hold your stamps?
Yeah. This one? Yeah.
One. Every time I do activities, I look for opportunities to count, and this is a great one to just count the apples.
4.
What do you mean 4?
It's 4 because that one is bigger than 3.
1, 2,
3.
3,
And this is.
4,
And now let's count again. Hey, we don't have enough apples.
5, 6.
We only
At this point, the material is set up, the activity is set up, and he is engaged. So I can walk away, being close by, and he can really explore the materials. There is no right and wrong way to do this unless he's throwing the apple across the kitchen, but that's not happening. So I'm cleaning the kitchen, I'm doing what I need to do, and he's exploring and seeing what he can do with the materials. What happens if he puts too much paint, too little paint, what kind of shapes he can make, and he's just really exploring and engaging with the materials that we do. But this is the ideal scenario, but what happens if your child is not engaged in stamping with the apples? Well, you can change the materials that you engage with the apple, like using a fork. Right now, then that's a whole other experience. Or you can throw away the apple altogether and use your hands, your fingers, or even cars, and you can make little runways around. The idea is for them to explore the materials and have some time to pick up things and stamp them and see what they can do. Later in the week, I want you to continue working on that vertical work, which means you are going to put your paper on a wall or something that is vertical. You can use the cards, you can use the stamps. We want to make sure that we're working on those shoulders so that we can strengthen that hand. Manu is 4 years old, so his play is a little bit different than how your toddler will be playing right now. The good thing about showing how he is playing is that he thinks out loud. So you can see how in his mind he is processing all this information and pretend play of, he asked for brown. Why brown? Apples are not brown. So I'll be like, no. You don't need brown. You need green or you need yellow because apples are not supposed to be brown. But I gave him the brown and then I could see where his thinking was going. And you see, he said apples are brown because they got dirty. So he's making up his own scenarios and he's making his own play, and I'm putting away all the dishes in the kitchen because I don't need to direct his play. That is his job. His job is to explore. My job is to make sure that he's doing it safe and that he's doing it in the area that I set up. So I still have a lot to clean up and a lot to go, and he doesn't seem to be bored, so I'm gonna just leave him there and play for a little bit. We are not done with the activity until we're actually all done, meaning we are cleaning up our area. So he decided he didn't want to paint anymore. So now I'm just picking up everything that I use that is washable. So I gave him some extra supplies to kind of long last the activity that he was using while I was finishing up my cleaning. And I'm just going to throw this whole paper out. If you wanted to save a piece of the paper and put it on your Todd School journal, you can do that, or you could have given him a separate paper that he can stamp on that you can save for your collection. But for us, this was just a process art activity that it was all about the process, not what we're going to keep. So we're just going to take that paper around, we're going to wrap it up, and we're going to throw it away. I see some of the paint did got through to our counter, so we're just gonna quickly clean it up, and he is part of that process too. He is going to help me clean up because that's part of the activity. The setting up, the playing, and the cleaning up, it's all part of our journey. So he is going to be helping, and you can see he's actually very excited about helping us with this part. And that's when the activity actually finishes, is when everything is cleaned up. And this took about 40 minutes, and I cleaned my kitchen, my sink is washed, and everything is good. And now we can move on to our next activity.